Hello, amazing artists! I hope all of you are doing wonderful. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at a painting and wondered how the artist made it so beautiful? Well, today we're going to discover the secret ingredients artists use to create masterpieces, and it's all thanks to the elements of art. They are the building blocks that every artist uses, whether they're drawing, painting, or sculpting, and there are 7 of them: line, shape, form, color, value, space, and texture. Understanding these elements will not only help you appreciate great works of art, but also improve your own artistic creations. The elements of art are like key ingredients in a refined recipe. Each of them brings its own character, but it's their thoughtful combination that creates a masterpiece. Just as a chef balances flavors to craft a memorable dish, an artist blends these elements to build depth, harmony, and meaning. Individually, they have value, but together, they transform simple components into art that resonates, evokes emotion, and tells a story. Ready to learn about all of them? Let's get started! First up, we have line. A line is a mark made by a moving dot, or as I like to call it, a line is a dot that went for a walk. Lines are one of the most fundamental elements of art, and they can be straight, curved, zigzag, wavy, dotted. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Lines can do a lot. They can guide your eye across a picture, suggest movement, create shapes. Artists use lines in countless ways to achieve different effects and expressions. For example, in Pablo Picasso's drawings, lines are often used to capture the essence of a subject with just a few bold, fluid strokes. Artists also use lines to show textures or movement. For instance, in Vincent van Gogh's painting, The Starry Night, notice how the swirling, wavy lines in the sky make it feel like the wind is blowing. These lines add sense of energy and movement, making the night come alive. Lines can also create patterns and rhythms, much like music. Imagine how different the painting will feel if the lines were straight and rigid instead of flowing and dynamic. Lines can become more than just boundaries. They can represent emotion, movement, and even entire compositions, pushing the limits of how we perceive and interact with art. Next, let's talk about shape. A shape is created when a line closes in on itself, forming a flat enclosed area, and they are two-dimensional. Shapes are all around us. They can be geometric, like squares, triangles, and circles, which are precise and often man-made. Or they can be organic, like the irregular shapes of clouds, leaves, and petals, which feel more natural and free-flowing. Shapes help define objects and figures in a piece, creating a structure and form within an artwork. They can be used to build complex images or convey simple ideas, making them essential in both realistic and abstract art. Artists use shapes to build everything in their artwork. Let's look at Pablo Picasso's 3 musicians. Picasso is famous for Cubism, where he breaks down objects into simple shapes. In this painting, the musicians are made of bold geometric shapes, rectangles, triangles, and circles. Even though the shapes are simple, together they create a lively, colorful scene. In abstract art, shapes might be used to explore patterns and form, as seen in the geometric compositions of Piet Mondrian. By experimenting with different shapes, artists can create depth, draw attention to certain areas, or convey complex ideas in a visually engaging way. Let's talk about form. While shape is flat, form is 3-dimensional. It has height, width, and depth. Forms can be real, like a sculpture you can walk around, or they can be an illusion of a flat surface, like a drawing that looks 3D. For example, think of a circle versus a sphere. A circle is just a flat shape, but when you add shading to make it look round, it becomes a sphere, which has form. Artists use light and shadow to create this illusion of depth on a flat surface. A perfect example of form in art is Michelangelo's famous sculpture, David. This sculpture is a marvel of form. You can see every muscle and curve in David's body, almost as if he is a real person frozen in stone. Michelangelo understood the human form so well that he could make marble look like soft skin and flowing hair. Even in drawings or paintings, artists can suggest form by using light, shadow, and perspective to make objects appear 3-dimensional. It's like creating a mini world on a flat piece of paper. Color is one of the most powerful elements of art because it has the ability to grab our attention and make us feel a certain way. Colors are created when light is reflected off an object and enters our eyes, and they come in three main types: primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, are the ones which cannot be made by mixing other colors. Secondary colors, green, orange, and purple, are made by mixing primary colors, and tertiary colors are created by mixing a primary color with a secondary color. Artists use color to create moods, add excitement, or even tell a story within their work. We use color in many different ways to achieve various effects. For example, warm colors like red, orange, and yellow can make an artwork feel energetic, intense, or warm, while cool colors like blue, green, and purple can create a calm, soothing, or even mysterious vibe. Some artists use color to create contrast and make certain parts of an artwork stand out, while others use harmonious color schemes to make their compositions feel balanced and unified. Look at Claude Monet's Water Lily series. Monet was a master of color, using it to capture the ever-changing effects of light and atmosphere. In these paintings, he layers colors to create a sense of depth and movement on the water's surface. The vibrant blues, greens, and purples blend harmoniously, making you feel like you're standing right there by the pond. But color isn't just about harmony. It can also be used to create powerful contrasts. Look at Edvard Munch's The Scream. The intense reds and oranges of the sky clash with the dark figure in the foreground, amplifying the sense of anxiety and despair. Because yes, colors can also have symbolic meanings or trigger emotional responses. For example, Pablo Picasso used blue tones during his blue period to express feelings of sadness and melancholy, while artists like Andy Warhol use bright, bold colors to evoke happiness and energy. There's even a science to how colors work together, called color theory, which helps artists decide which colors look good side by side and which combinations create strong visual impacts. Understanding how to use color effectively allows artists to communicate their ideas and feelings in a powerful way, making color a truly magical tool in the world of art. Value in art refers to the lightness or darkness of a color, and it's a crucial element that helps create depth, contrast, and emphasis in an artwork. Imagine a simple grayscale, ranging from pure white to deep black, with all the shades of gray in between. Those are the different values. Artists use value to make certain parts of an image stand out, create a sense of volume, and make flat objects look three-dimensional. Without value, everything will look flat and lifeless. Artists often use a wide range of values to bring their artwork to life. For example, in black and white photography, value is the primary element that defines the image, creating mood, contrast, and detail. In Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, value plays a huge role. Da Vinci used a technique called chiaroscuro, which means light and dark in Italian, to create soft transitions between light and shadow. This makes Mona Lisa's face look realistic and her expression mysterious. Notice how the light on her forehead slowly fades into shadow around her cheeks and chin. This subtle use of value gives the painting its life quality. Value can dramatically change the feeling of an artwork. High contrast values with a strong difference between light and dark can create a sense of drama, tension, or excitement. Even when the artwork doesn't depict anything realistic, changes in value can create a sense of movement, balance, or mood. By experimenting with value, abstract artists can lead viewers to experience the artwork on an emotional level, showing just how powerful this element can be even in the absence of traditional forms and objects. Now, let's fill the art with texture. Texture in art refers to how a surface feels or looks like it would feel if you could touch it. It can be actual, like the roughness of a thickly painted surface, or implied, like the way an artist uses lines, brushstrokes, or patterns to make a surface look smooth, rough, soft, or bumpy. Texture helps bring art to life by adding depth and interest, making it feel more real and engaging to the viewer. Artists use texture to create contrast, draw attention to certain areas, and add a sense of realism or abstraction. For example, Vincent van Gogh often applied paint in thick, swirling strokes to create a tactile, expressive surface as seen in Starry Night. In a sculpture, artists like Auguste Rodin created different textures to show the softness of skin or the roughness of hair and fabric, making their pieces feel more lifelike. In contemporary and mixed media art, texture is often used in unexpected and creative ways. Artists may combine materials like fabric, metal, sand, or found objects to create actual texture that you can see and feel. By experimenting with different materials and techniques, artists can use textures to surprise, engage, and make viewers want to explore the artwork up close. Last but not least, we have a space. A space is about the area around, between, and within objects in an artwork. Artists use a space to create a sense of depth, making things look close up or far away. This can turn a flat drawing into a picture that feels like you could step right into it. Look at this image. What do you see? And in this one? Depending on how you look at an image, your focus might shift between the faces or the base. Because there are two types of space: positive space, which is where the subject of the artwork is, and negative space, which is the empty area around and between the subject. Both are important in creating a balanced composition. In Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, overlapping shapes, changing inside, and the placement of objects in the foreground, middle ground, or background can also help create the feeling of space. In a sculpture or installation art, space is used three-dimensionally, allowing viewers to walk around or even inside the artwork, like in Richard Serra's massive steel sculptures that create pathways and enclosed spaces, where the space around and within the artwork is just as important as the objects themselves, influencing how viewers interact with and perceive the work. Yayoi Kusama, with her infinity mirror rooms, used mirrors and repeating patterns to create the illusion of endless space, immersing the viewer in a boundless, almost otherworldly experience. By manipulating space, artists can transform ordinary environments into extraordinary experiences. And that's the 7 elements of art. We explore line, shape, color, value, form, texture, and space. Remember, these elements are like the ingredients in a recipe. They come together to create amazing works of art. Whether you're doodling, painting, or sculpting, understanding these elements will help you make your art even better. You can now play a game to test your knowledge on the elements of art in a video that is linked in the description box below. Let's see how many do you get right. Thanks for watching.